History of Paramilitary Unit Foundation. On July 18, 1978, Thailand government led by Prime Minister General Kreng Sakshamanan had finally approved the establishment of the paramilitary unit. The objective was to suppress the threats due to the global communist expansion, since Thailand was also one of the countries that were directly affected due to this matter. During that time, a significant transition from fighting with people's idea to armed clashes had been widely spread to many countries in the region, including Thailand. Paramilitary unit in Thailand. On November 14, 1980, the 4th Army Area has officially issued an order number 9/2523 in order to establish the paramilitary unit within the 4th Army Area for the first time. On January 19, 1974, 5 paramilitary regiments with a total of 36 paramilitary companies and a female paramilitary platoon had been established. This included the 41st, 42nd, 43rd, 44th, 45th paramilitary regiments. Since then, the foundation day for the 43rd paramilitary regiment has been set to be on January the 19th. For the former structure and organization of the 43rd Paramilitary Regiment dated back to October 1st, 1980. The paramilitary unit has been found under the name Paramilitary Control Team and had an Army Battalion Commander in the local area to simultaneously command the unit beside his present position. Major Kreng Chayabut was a 4054 Paramilitary Control Team Commander until 1982 and followed by Major Wallop Jirawat until 1982. And for the 4153 Paramilitary Control Team, it was led by Major Rewat Ratanaphongsae until 1982. Until July 15, 1982, the 4054 and 4153 Paramilitary Control Team had changed their name to be 4054 and 4153 Paramilitary Regiment. Lieutenant Colonel Kreng Chayabut has become the first commandant of the 4153 Paramilitary Regiment since 1983. On January 19, 1984, paramilitary companies from the 4155 Paramilitary Regiment or the former 4054 Paramilitary Regiment and from the 4153 Paramilitary Regiment had been combined to form the 43rd Paramilitary Regiment and had a location at บ้านโคกแร่ตำบลคนเกยอำเภอร่อนพิบูลจังหวัดนครศรีธรรมราช Colonel Kreng Chayabut was the first commandant of the 43rd Paramilitary Regiment between 1983 and 1986. Its mission was to suppress and destroy the armed communists in the area of Nakhon Sri Thammarat, Trang and Pattalung. And since a number of violences occurring in the southern border provinces had been drastically increased by the act of former Pulo, New Pulo, Malayan Communist Group, Bersatu, GMIP, BRN Congress, and BRN Coordinates during that time, the Royal Thai Army had decided to move the 43rd Paramilitary Regiment from บ้านโคกแร่ตำบลคนเกยอำเภอร่อนพิบูลจังหวัดนครศรีธรรมราช to a new post at บ้านน้ำดำตำบลบ่อทองอำเภอหนองจิกจังหวัดปัตตานี on July 19, 1986. On February 9, 1987, the 43rd Paramilitary Regiment had been moved to a new post at บ้านอาเสนตำบลยะหาอำเภอยะหาจังหวัดยะลา Its mission was to perform a joint patrol according to the Thai-Malaysian Border Protection Plan. This plan covered a total of 137 kilometers along the border from อำเภอนาทวีสงขลา to อำเภอทานโตจังหวัดยะลา Colonel Kip Thiam Thip was the first commandant from 1986 to 1988 and then Colonel Sanchai Ratchatawan from 1988 to 1990. On February 27, 1990, the unit was moved to บ้านโคกริมเมงตำบลปะลุรูอำเภอสุไหงปาดีจังหวัดนราธิวาส Commandant in 1990 was Colonel สินชัยนุสถิต and then Colonel สุชาติจันทรโชติกุล from 1990 to 1992. On February 25, 1992, it was moved to บ้านเจาะไอร้องตำบลจวบอำเภอเจาะไอร้องจังหวัดนราธิวาส Colonel พัศรวิชิตการ was a commandant between 1992 and 1995. Colonel ปรีชาพลายุวงศ์ was a commandant between 1995 and 1997. Colonel วิวัฒน์ปฐมภาค was a commandant between 1997 and 2003. Its mission at that time was to patrol, search, and destroy the armed groups in the area of Narathiwat, especially on Mot Tae, Budo, and Gunung Chernong Mountain. The unit has successfully completed its mission in destroying such armed groups during that time. Since violences in the southern border provinces were successfully suppressed and significantly decreased, the government had decided to use the paramilitary forces to perform a joint patrol along the Thai-Malaysian border in the area of Satoon and Songkhla. On November 25, 2003, the 43rd Paramilitary Regiment had moved to a new location at บ้านห้วยน้ำเย็นตำบลบ่อทองอำเภอหนองจิกจังหวัดปัตตานี Its new mission was to strengthen the relationship with the Malaysian Army and to perform a joint patrol along the Thai-Malaysian border. The 43rd Paramilitary Regiment was responsible for the area in อำเภอเทพา นาทวี สะพานย้อย สงขลา Colonel ประเสริฐขวัญชัย was a commandant between 2003 and 2004. However, the violences have been emerging again since January 4, 2004. The 43rd Paramilitary Regiment has established the 43rd Paramilitary Regiment Task Force and deploys its forces to perform duty in Narathiwat and nearby area. Its mission was to protect lives and properties of the citizens in อำเภอเจาะไอร้องอำเภอสุไหงปาดี นราธิวาส Colonel สุชาติเปรมจิต was commandant between 2004 and 2006. On November 8, 2006, Master Sergeant First Class Uthai Thongphai, an operation team leader, led his men to perform a daily road patrol in the area of his base. While passing Ban Than Thip School, he ordered his men to enter the school to observe for abnormal activities that might occur. The insurgent groups consisted of approximately 20 people had been hidden in the high area behind the school and started opening the fire at his men. His men suddenly started shooting back at this insurgent group. The bullet hit some of them and caused the rest of them trying to rescue the men. Unfortunately, Master Sergeant First Class Uthai Thongphai was shot. He still ordered his men to fight bravely until the insurgent group had to back up. And sadly, he passed away at the end of the gunfire. In this situation, even though the insurgent group had more men and occupied a better position, Master Sergeant First Class Uthai Thongphai was not scared at all. He led and ordered his troops to fight back bravely. His action expressed his excellent leadership, courage, and dedication for the country, no matter how the danger he had encountered at the time it would be. This was a good example for all of us as a soldier. His action at this time was well recognized by his superior, subordinates, and his fellow in the army. On May 11, 2007, he had received a recognition letter from his superior to appreciate his action and his unit for such heroism action, especially from the Prime Minister General Sriyut Julanon. Since his personnel at Operator were considered to be above and beyond the call of duty, his name was submitted to the Army to award the Medal of Honor for such incident. Then Colonel Thiravat Pinkeo was a commandant between 2006 and 2009. His forces also bravely fought against insurgents and were able to control the situation on Tawai Mountain and Thantip School. On April 1, 2008, the Royal Thai Army has approved to move the 43rd Paramilitary Regiment to a permanent location at Inkyut Tabarihan Camp, Pattani, which is the current location until now. Colonel Chalampon Kamkyo was a commandant between 2009 and 2010. Colonel Santik Skuntana was a commandant between 2010 and 2013. Present commandant of the 43rd Paramilitary Regiment is Colonel Chanit Sangcham. The Black Army fighters are our own blood lineages. They have volunteered to fight for the country and our family members to live peacefully and happily behind the front line. They devoted their life in exchange for sovereignty and our freedom. They are willing to risk their lives to keep the last land for our tribe from generations to generations. They will leave only their names and good memories behind. And above all, they would always be our Black Army heroes forever.